state any follow-up based on those questions?
Do you even know what the caliber of the bullet was that was covered in autopsy?
No, I don't know this caliber.
Is that something that is not in your realm of determination?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Sam?
Doctor, I'm assuming you're probably going to say I don't know, but are you aware that if any Metropolitan Police officer or expert came forward to take a look at those fragments that we're looking at now, or any other fragments that were recovered from the body?
No, I don't know.
You don't know that?
I don't know whether or not somebody did that.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, thank you for being with us, Dr. Gavin. You are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next witness.
Just before we call the next witness, I have in my hand State's proposed exhibit number 59, which is a certified copy of Marion Should Knight's medical records from UMC that night.
Any objection to the admission of those records, Mr. Sam?
No, you're not.
All right, those will be admitted.
I apologize, I don't know his name, but he is the custodian of records for.
Too quiet? Turn your sound from 100% to 600% with Sound Pulse. Just hit Add to Chrome. It installs in seconds. Click the icon. Boost the volume. That's it. Works on every site. Boost volume fast. Add Sound Pulse for free.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Michael Ingram, Michael Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Mr. Jackman, whenever you're ready.
Sir, how are you employed?
I work as an investigator for MGM Resorts.
What area at MGM Resorts do you have a certain job responsibility?
I have responsibility over surveillance and security surveillance and investigations.
Were you requested to come here to authenticate some video that was collected well back in 1996 from the MGM?
Yes, I was.
And have you had a chance to see any of that surveillance?
Yes, I have.
Did MGM keep copy as well?
Yes, they have.
Okay, so you reviewed that.
Yes.
Judge, I have in my hand the stage proposed exhibit number 115, which is that video right offering.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, that'll be admitted.
So I have three different camera views, three different files, I'll call it, that we're going to talk about. But back in 1996, can you describe the type of surveillance system we're looking at? Like, how is it? What medium was it originally recorded on?
At that time, it was recorded on VHS.
And did MGM reuse tapes every so often?
Yes.
And so when you reused tape, did you lose quality each time you kind of reused it over and over again?
Yes, the quality deteriorated.
So unlike today, that's digital, some of these views that we're going to watch, it's going to be pretty hard to facially identify anybody. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I want to start with, I just mark next to them.
I need to switch it over.
I know, I just remember if it's at the top or the bottom. There's two blues. Oh, this one? Yes, this one's over. There you go.
It doesn't work like that.
All right. I'm going to show you the stage proposal exhibit number 144. You recognize what that is?
Yes, that's the MGM grid.
Is that currently the way the MGM Grand looks?
The general layout of the casino or the hotel, yes, it's the names have changed and stuff, but
Okay.
the property is the same.
So we don't know if this is from 1996 or if it's from 2002, 2010, one in the last 30 years, but generally the layout's been the same.
Correct.
I'll put this up, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Your Honor, if I could,
Oh, I'll move to bit 144.
Before we move to mid, can I just ask a couple more questions at this witness with regards to this?
You'd like to voir dire on this issue? You may.
Sir, with regards to the photograph that's been marked as proposed state exhibit 144, can you tell me if you can read the locations that are on that particular map?
I can read most of them. There's one that's a little fuzzy to me.
Sure. In terms of your review of the surveillance video from EMGM, fair to say that what we're about to see would indicate where the camera location was, including the name of the area that would correlate with what you have out there on the map?
As a general rule, yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll have no further questions.
Any objection then to
No
the admission of it? It'll be admitted. State, you may proceed.
There's actually two areas on this I want to talk to you about before we show the video. Maybe more than that. Generally speaking, events like the Tyson-Selden fight, where would that have occurred at?
The MGM Grand Garden, which is located at the top of the screen.
Up here. Okay. We have an elevator view that we're going to see. Located on this.
There's in the middle of the screen, there's three small boxes. Those,
Right here?
yes, those are the elevator core for the MGM Grand.
And then if there's a camera that's going to say food court, that's kind of walking, that's looking down a long hallway. Which hallway are we looking at?
The white box, yeah, you're going to be following that basically to the Grand Garden Arena.
So when you come out of this box, you can either come down here or across the casino, essentially.
Correct.
So now I'm going to start with, if we can go back to me. I'll pause it here for just a second. This says food court promenade. So I'm just gonna hold it up for the jury. Do you know anywhere where we are along this white corridor, or could it be anywhere on that white corridor?
Specifically, I couldn't tell you exactly where along that corridor you are, but you're along that corridor.
I'm going to stop it a little further. This person right here, we're seeing some of our other videos wearing a Dan Marino Miami Dolphins jersey. You probably know that, but for ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that's the person that we're trying to follow. Is that accurate? Or do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. Now we have another camera view of this long hallway. From this, can you tell generally where in that hallway it is, or once again, we're just somewhere on that white hallway?
Somewhere along that white hallway.
And well, he just flashed.
That.
So let me stop it here. On these VHS tapes, cameras would flash between different hallways.
That technology was in effect during that time frame.
It's called multiplex back in those days.
Correct.
So sometimes we jump from camera view to camera view, trying to capture what we're trying to capture.
Correct.
Know what I'm saying?
Camera view to camera view.
Yeah, we was
Trying
having
to
some
capture
technical
what we're trying to
difficulties
capture.
earlier. Yeah,
Correct.
we back. We was having some technical difficulties earlier, man. Sharon, what up? Blood, we back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know what happened,
We
man.
can see the 13 on this jersey right here. The
Shit.
gentleman walking
Turn
behind
back
me.
on.
Now I'm going to take you to 115B. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Sharon. Yeah, but shit, he shouldn't have said he did it. Yeah, I played it yesterday. I played
All
some
right,
of it
we're going to use a
yesterday.
different program so we don't watch it sideways. And I'll turn my volume off because there's no volume. Now this is that elevator core that we saw. Please switch over to me for just a second.
You mean the dot cam?
Yeah. So as opposed to those other views that were somewhere in here, now we're down in the middle of these four, and there's a tree in the middle of these four.
Correct.
Is that tree still there?
No.
And unlike the other camera, this one is a movable camera that goes back and forth.
Correct.
Go back to you.
Yeah. So this one starts at 2043 or so, and I'm going to jump forward to about 2047. This is just people walking through that elevator area, correct?
Correct.
Close enough. We'll start at 2046-33.
Yeah, hey, they caught a lot of these motherfuckers in all type of lies, man. Sharon, this shit was just, this case is just like wow, like what the fuck? It's the clearest video I ever seen too. Yeah, that's the only thing that really been killing me about like because it's 30 years. You right, man. Like so like I used to follow this shit, Sherm, but I man, I done lost a lot of the details and things. But you feel me? I'm trying to figure it out. That's why I'm going through it now. Like somebody going to do some time for this case. It's been 30 years. They're not going to let someone walk that easy. Yeah, that's
Stop
true.
it just here for a second to orient everybody. So the camera, is it being operated manually by a cameraman so he can stop it on something that he's looking at?
He can stop it at a location, but that movement that you saw was just the camera in rotation, just scanning the area.
But if it now stops and focuses on someone, there's someone in the control room that is able to stop and go, hey, something's going on.
Yes.
I don't know what they looking for in this video.
The gentleman in white shirts, are they security guards, and the gentleman in tan shirts, Metro Police?
Yes, sir.
Pause it there for a second. Once again, it appears that the victim of the beating was wearing that 13 merino shirt.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. See, so I'm thinking this is probably the day, like you know what I'm saying, when they God damn it, when they this might be the hotel or the casino where they was at. I'm not sure. I don't know what they looking for, who they trying to see, but we gonna see in a minute once they get back to talk.
Stuff is about 2055 or so. And then our final view, this may seem somewhat obvious, but I'm gonna give you this when you watch the cameras. After we're done, I'm gonna ask you generally where those people that we see um, leaving the area of the elevator
Yeah,
after
we all asked out of
where
court.
they go.
It's crazy.
This is 115C. So is that the main casino floor outside the elevators?
Correct.
Okay, I see now. So they watching it. So I see Monk now. They watching it to see what everything went on because I just seen Pac. Okay, I see it now. I see what they watching for. You say right way security fucked up bad security detail and they know it. But sure, but regardless of the security detail, like this incident, like I don't even so apparently from so Orlando was supposedly trying to snatch one of the brothers' chains, one of the guys' chains that was in the entourage. Came back, told Pop, this is the story. Came back, told Pop what they told Pop.
The
Let's go ride down on the cruise. They went to ride down on
the
it.
lion entrance.
All this happened.
Right.
Is that anywhere near the ballet?
That's the. I'm sorry, I was confused. Out to the hotel registration area and then out to the Port of Kashir.
And do you know whether or not back in '96 there was a ballet there or not?
Yeah, no, I don't know if there was an exact ballet or what it was called at the time.
Thank you, sir. Judge, I pass the witness.
Mr. Singh, cross-examination.
Thank you, Honor. Sir, you are an investigator with the MGM, right?
MGM Resorts, the whole company.
So it would be MGM as well as the other properties that are on the ship?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm assuming you're more than just yourself doing the investigations?
Correct.
Okay. May I have that document? May I approach on?
Yeah.
I'm going to publish this again to the jury. State Exhibit number 44. All right. A couple questions. As the investigator or a investigator, how long have you been doing that line of work for?
14 years.
Did you have any previous law enforcement experience before you became an investigator for MGM?
No.
And then with regards to your training as an investigator for the MGM, are you trained in how to do an investigation?
Yes.
Okay. And that would be something that would be not necessarily law enforcement, but it would just be to protect the properties that MGM owns.
Yes.
Okay. So with regards to the training that you have, is one of the things that you do in terms of training, learning how to write proper reports?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us why that's important?
Documentation for future reference. You're time stamping an event in that moment that you are investigating it.
And fair to say that with regards to report writing, it helps you later refresh your recollection if you're ever unlucky enough to be sitting in this chair facing towards these people, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In this case, you were asked to retrieve this video that was what we've all have seen right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you have to write a report for that?
No.
Now, you had shared with us earlier that you had reviewed the videos. Anything about the review of the videos that would have required you to put it into a report?
No.
Okay. And you were going to, I must have cut you off. You were going to say something. Did you want to finish?
I did not, like you said that I provided this video.
Yes.
I did not provide this video.
Okay. So, and once again, we want to make sure that we're accurate, right? So what is your role in this whole thing and what you did here?
The video that we all reviewed, to be able to say that it's MGM Grand's video, that's MGM Grand's location, and whatever you guys want to talk about inside the video.
Right. So in terms of you verifying it, was it just you looking at the video and saying, yes, that's the casino floor of the MGM?
Yes.
In terms of the date and time, for instance, you're just relying on what's date stamped and time on the actual video that you watched, right?
Yes.
I mean, you don't have any other way of verifying any of the time and date in this case outside of what's time stamped on the video, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that's not a trick question. I just want to make sure it's like, yeah, you're good. But in terms of the case itself, was there an internal number that was assigned by the MGM property specifically as to this event in September of 2000 or 1996?
I don't know that answer.
So when you were asked to review the videos, do you know if there were any reports that were written by MGM security or MGM investigators like yourself on September 7th, 1996 with regard to this event?
I don't know that answer.
Now, in addition to that, you were asked to look through the video. Were you ever asked to locate anyone based upon the video that you saw in this case?
No.
At City Colleges of Chicago, I get personal support, convenient schedules, and I save thousands of dollars in tuition.
2012.
Technically, I got hired in 2010.
2010. All right. So this is take a step back, another 14 years prior to you working there. We heard testimony that the recording system was all VHS based.
Yes.
If you could describe for the jury, right? So you have a control room, I'm assuming, with all these monitors that are on there.
Yes, sir.
And there's multiple people that are probably looking at different quadrants or areas of the casino.
They're looking at different monitors. Yes, sir.
Okay. And some of them are concerned with, like, say, cheating on the tables and that kind of thing, right?
That is a different team altogether.
I see.
You have your security team and you have your gaming surveillance team.
I see. So as a security team, you're just tasked with safety on the premises.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And so in this case, when those cameras are going around, they're going around automatically until such time as somebody in the control room looks and says, oh, there's something going on right here, and then manually focuses the camera over there.
Some of the cameras, yes.
Okay. And even if the person in the room is not seeing it, sometimes they'll get a call from security saying, hey, we've got a situation over by the elevator banks. And then that would draw someone's attention to that monitor and move the camera over to that area.
Yes, sir.
Now, is the person that's operating the camera at that point in direct contact with the security team that is down below, like in this case, in the elevator area?
Yes, sir.
So they would be communicating back and forth about whatever it is that would be going on that would be helpful for everybody to know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in this particular case, you have obviously a lot of people on the property.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you're too young for this, but I mean, this was fight night, right? Mike Tyson against Bruce Seldon.
Yes, sir.
Is that typical? Like, is that a typical amount of people on the MGM property?
In my experience, yes, that's a typical of fight night that you would have.
Right. So nowadays it's UFC or some type of championship thing with somebody, I don't know. But once again, championship level sort of thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Not an everyday.
Not an everyday thing.
All right. And obviously there's a ton of people that are there. We see at some point the group that attacked the individual run.
Yes,
and
sir.
they run out of the area. And I want to make sure the jury understands. So going back here to State's Exhibit number 144, the area where the attack happens is right here. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And this is right next to it. It just says elevator core, right?
Yes, sir.
Now we talked a little bit about where they exited, and you had mentioned somewhere, but I just want to make sure I'm clear as to where that would have been. Can you tell the jury where they exited?
From what I observed,
Sir, just so that you know, you could actually take that mouse that's right there and just move it around.
Yeah, when he's on the dock cam.
They
All right,
changed
Donna
it.
pointed out.
Usually they can, but
All right. Just go ahead and just describe it, and I'll just point it out.
he appears to have traveled initially after the altercation. He appears to travel north up into the casino area, around that area, and then from the description, it looks like he comes back south and then turns to the
Approach that screen and point.
Oh, thank you, Madam Clerk. Yes, please. Could you just?
Just talk loud while you're over there.
you can get up and just point it out on that big screen.
Sorry.
The altercation occurs in the elevator core. It appears that he travels up through this location on the casino floor, and then turns here and then comes back down. And it appears that he goes. I would have to watch it again. I'm a little confused on the exact route. There's only two routes. You either went out the Port of Commissioner or went out the line entrance. But I'd have to watch it one more time to be able to confirm that.
If we could ask the state to be so kind as to replay that particular video back for the witness.
She needs to put it back on me.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And once again, this would be 115 C as in Charlie. Director?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's showing you again States Exhibit 44. Can you explain to the jury the path that was taken?
Initially, it starts in the elevator core. They exit the elevator core. They enter the casino floor. They come down. They pass the cage. They pass the Emerald City, and then they're out the line entrance.
All right, and for the record, the line entrance is on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana?
Correct.
Thank you. Now, with regards to how we're able to determine this, obviously it's, we're looking at this particular map here and there's names of certain parts on here. Did that help you in terms of seeing where the camera locations were?
Yes.
As well as just looking and seeing that there was a casino cage and there was, you were able to determine just based upon that where everything was.
Correct.
Okay. Now, looking at the map again as well, can you point out for us the number of cafes that's located on the property?
Your new car's first camping trip. You've thought of everything. Or have
Would reading the actual thing help you?
Yes, I think it would have. You want the number of cafes, sir?
Yeah, just tell me how many cafes are on the map.
One, two. Three.
All right. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm the coach.
Oh, of course. You may move freely.
Thank you. Showing you again for the jury 144. If you can just get up and point to the map in terms of where the cafes are on property in 1996 for us, please.
You have the Coyote Cafe, the studio, coffee shop, and I believe this is also a gourmet coffee stand.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, in terms of the number of people moving through the casino, obviously very excited in terms of who they think is going through the casino. Would that have been something that would have been unnoticed by anyone?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Seems like a weird question, right? But the idea behind it is that there are so many people moving through that casino. Is MGM built in such a way where you wouldn't notice that, the noise or the bustle or anything like that?
Yes.
It is
You
built
wouldn't,
that way.
no, you wouldn't notice it.
And in terms of the number of people that are going through there at that particular time, you have camera angles, right? And they're showing us where these people are going, right?
Yes.
So outside of the casino, going back down here to the bottom of 144, were there any camera angles out here in the line entrance to help us see where the individuals left and what direction they went to?
Not that I'm aware of.
And fair enough that there is actually cameras that are outside the property as well to protect the MGM property, right?
407.
Generally, yes.
Looks like we have the jury lined up. Anything we need to address before we bring them in?
Not from the state.
Mr. Sam?
Yeah, we do have one request of the court. I
Okay.
understand that the state will be putting on a witness that actually has a medical appointment back in California tomorrow.
Okay.
And so as a result, I would like to be able to do my cross after they present all of their direct evidence, which would include the recording that will be played with regards to an interview with Mr. Davis. But I'd like to do that at the end instead of in the middle like we did yesterday or the other day with Detective Miller. There were questions I wanted to ask Detective Miller that I just couldn't do after the recording had been played. And so I understand that this Detective Dupree, would be in California tomorrow for the appointment. I just would.
So you would rather, so you understand that he's gonna be back in California, but you still wanna do it via Zoom?
Sure, yeah, because I don't want to mess with his appointment on.
So no objection to him doing it via Zoom, but you want the state to present all of the information that they're presenting through him, and then you do your cross?
Yes.
Okay. I think we can accommodate that, right, State?
Well, I mean, there is approximately 5 hours worth of recordings with him. Once it's into evidence, our choice to play it, whether he's on the stand or not, is when we decide to play it
Okay.
during the trial. I explained to Detective Dupree that I plan to do my direct and his cross-examination today because I knew that he had to be out of here.
Okay.
I don't think he'd be opposed to subject to recall with Mr. Samp if he wants to go and would come back on by Zoom. But I am opposed to the idea that they're going to control the way we present our evidence. We'll do direct, we'll do cross. If there's anything he wants to additionally have from Detective Dupree, I don't think that he would necessarily be opposed to getting on a Zoom in his case.
All right. Do you guys want to talk to him real quick to see if he can be recalled? If there's something that needs to be done after everything's presented?
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm clear. I heard the state basically say that they don't want me to dictate how they want to present the case. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm just saying.
You're not stipulating that they can play it outside.
Look, I mean,
Like,
this
with the
is
other
a
witness.
matter of professional courtesy. I would definitely allow him to go back to California to do what he's doing. But he's on the stand. Technically, he's not supposed to be released until after the court releases him from the subpoena. And so as a result, if you want to play that game, then I would want him to stay here overnight so he can at least be cross-examined by me. I just was trying to be nice about it by doing it the other way, but it seems now like I have to recall this person. I don't trust anyone disappearing in the wind. I don't care if he's a detective. Like, in my opinion, I got a problem with that.
Well, yeah, but once a piece of evidence is admitted, it's our choice as to when to play it and how to play it. So, like, I'm not getting dictated how we do that. If he's done with cross, if he's going to delay cross and keep him on the stand long enough, he's free to play it during this cross-examination if he wants to. Once a piece of evidence is admitted, it's admitted, right?
Right.
So I'm going to lay
if you're
the
going to
foundation.
have him verify it and then not play it until closings or something, that's your prerogative.
Or I could just, on Friday decide we're going to play, because we have hours and hours and hours of audio to play, and just having somebody sitting on the stand for audio is not necessary.
Okay.
I can present it in any manner I want to. It just doesn't require the witness to be here to listen to it.
And
once
so it
it's
sounds
admitted.
like what Mr. Samp is saying is he has no objection to you doing your direct and then playing it without him being here, and then he would like to do his cross tomorrow. So I was just going to see if.
I just don't think we'll be through it by tomorrow. I think it may be,
Oh,
because we have a witness coming tomorrow, so we may be breaking up 2008 and then later on playing 2009. So I don't know when that's going to happen in our presentation of the evidence.
I understand that.
Kind of the issue that we're having, because we're really juggling a lot of out-of-state witnesses because nobody was in Vegas when this crime occurred.
So, Mr. Samp, what I'll do is after you listen to when the state is done with their direct, and they've admitted what they want to admit and they say that they're done, I'll turn to you and you can let me know if you want to cross-examine now or if you want to ultimately recall him on your own for your presentation. And if, well,
there's a little bit of a regret with regards to Detective Miller, and I do understand there were some audio-visual problems with his connection, right, in terms of.
at a later time for recall. That's all I'm trying to do at this point so that I can see what my options are.
I'd be happy to go out and talk. I think he's in the back.
If you guys want to talk to him and see if he has a time afterwards, I understand your concern. I understand your point that we can just admit it and play it at closings, essentially. We don't, once something's admitted, you can play it whenever you want. That is true. You also may have questions that get formulated after the item is presented. So let's see if there's a possibility for him to be recalled at all at any point. I have no problem with doing that.
Okay.
But I don't know if he's available.
Yes,
So go check with him, and then we can come up with a plan. Sure.
Hi. Now we're comfortable, let's talk urine leakage. Tena Men Maximum Guards are designed for men.
Detective Dupree has agreed to be available Friday morning.
Okay.
If Mr. Stamps has any additional questions by way of Zoom, we figure by then we'll be through the 2 statements.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. All right, perfect. So looks like that's been resolved. Anything else we need to address outside the presence?
Not from the state.
All right, let's bring the jury in.
Staff to the jury.
Do the parties stipulate to the presence of the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may be seated. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for accommodating me as we started a little bit later. I appreciate your time. At this time, we are still in the state's case in chief. Who's your next witness?
Wait.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this section shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
It's Wade Lee, Wagelee.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, for being here. Mr. DeJockmo, whenever you're ready, you may proceed.
Thank you. Just give the clerk the next thing in order. Sir, back in the 90s, how were you employed?
I was a special agent with the FBI,
How long were you with the FBI?
25 years.
And when did you start?
May of 1996.
May of 1996?
Yes,
Yeah, I've been retired that long, actually.
about 5 years.
I want to direct your attention to the 1997, 1998 time period. What was your assignment? What were you doing for the FBI at that time?
I was assigned to a squad that was working the State Streets Task Force. I was on basically the Violent Crimes Major Offenders program, working gangs in South Central LA.
You said Project Safe Street, and that's a federal task force that has multi-agency people on it?
Yes, that's correct. The way it was generally organized, there were several squads in LA, the LA division of the FBI, that were assigned to different regions of the area, the territories. My squad was assigned to the Watts area of Los Angeles, South Central.
And as part of your duties, did you have a partner by the name of Agent Holiday?
Yeah, Todd Holiday, yes.
Did there come a point in time when the two of you, along with other members of your squad, begin an investigation into a criminal street gang by the name of Grape Street?
Yes, it
Can you
was
explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what Grape Street is?
Grape Street. The Grape Street Crips was a large gang organization that operated out of the Jordan Downs housing projects in Watts. It was basically believed to be the largest Crip set in all of America. Our squad was working the violent aspects and drug dealing aspects of that organization.
As part of your investigation into Grape Street, did you come across a person that you identified as Dwayne Davis?
Yes.
And do you see Mr. Davis here in court today?
Yes, I do.
Can you point him out to describe something he's wearing?
It's the gentleman sitting in the at the defendant's table with the blue shirt and tie.
And how is it that you came across Mr. Davis?
During the course of our investigation with Grape Street, when you're looking at the organization, there was numerous techniques that we used for investigating, whether it was informants, wiretaps, surveillance, active interviews, and things of that nature. During the course of that interview, Mr. Davis kind of came under the umbrella under the course of our investigation of one of his associate family members by the individual of the name Rodney Blackman.
And did Rodney have a nickname?
Speedy.
During the time period that you're doing this investigation, well, let me ask you this. As part of Project Safe Streets, as well as being assigned to the Watts area, were you aware of the various gang sets and their
Yeah, I mean, while our squad was working that investigation on Grape Street, you always would have crossover in other areas. For example, in Watts, there were 3 main housing project areas. Each of them you had fairly prominent gang organizations, as well as gangs that came up from the Compton area and other parts of South Central Los Angeles. So there's usually crossover, whether it's from drug activity or other sort of gang violence, things like that.
And you mentioned one of them, the Jordan Downs.
Yes.
What type of housing, what type of gang activity was going on in the Jordan Downs?
So the Grape Street Crips operated out of Jordan Downs housing projects, and they basically controlled that whole housing project as far as the drug trafficking, violent activity, and things of that nature.
If somebody were hiding out from blood gang members hunting him, would
Good health is a priority. Our primary care makes it easy. Check healthcare off your list. We're your advocate.
I'm going to call Speedy. At some point, do you wind up learning information that allows you to arrest Mr. Davis for some criminal offenses?
Yes, we were part of our investigation while we were up on Mr. Blackman, there was a period of time when Mr. Davis actually was staying with David with Blackman. It was actually after the Tupac Shakur murder. During the course of our investigation of the Grape Street Crips and of Blackman and things like that, we were able to obtain information and evidence to develop a case against Mr. Davis.
And can you just describe the general allegations of the case?
It was drug trafficking, 2 kilos. He was indicted and arrested for selling 2 kilos of cocaine.
And the type of evidence you had against Mr. Davis, what was it?
Most of it was telephone conversation intercepts from wiretaps, court authorized wiretaps.
And based upon the charges, ultimately, do you indict Mr. Davis for some crimes related to drug trafficking?
Yes, he was indicted, arrested, and then eventually pled guilty.
The type of sentence Mr. Davis was facing when he was indicted, what kind of ranges are we talking for those kind of charges?
I believe it was around somewhere in the nature of 10 years initially, but it varies depending on, individuals' prior criminal history, whether they were felony convictions, drug trafficking offenses, and things of that nature. It also varies depending on the type of drug that the individual might have been accused of trafficking. Back then, and at that time period, the federal sentencing guidelines, there was a difference in sentencing for rock cocaine, crack cocaine versus regular powder cocaine and things of that nature. And he was indicted for trafficking 2 kilos of powder cocaine.
As part of that investigation, does there come a point in time when you do what's known as a proffer with Mr. Davis?
Yes, we did.
And describe, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what a proffer is.
So a proffer interview session would be, it's usually considered, it's a fairly common practice, particularly in the federal criminal justice system, where we have an individual who's been indicted and arrested, and it sort of is the beginning of a negotiation for a plea agreement, if you will. What we do is the U.S. Attorney's Office, the defendant's attorney, they all agree that to conducting an interview with the FBI. The terms of that agreement are such that the defendant has to be open and candor, tell the truth regarding the questions that we ask him. In return, the FBI, Department of Justice, will not use what the defendant says in that proffer session against him in this case, in chief that we have him charged with. There's a couple little caveats. One being that if during trial the defendant goes on to make statements that contradict what he said in that proffer session, at that point it violates it, and we can use his statements against him. Those are generally in nature. And then we agree to keep the nature of the interview confidential.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yeah. right, Mr. Duckman, you may proceed.
When you had your 1998 proffer with Mr. Davis, well, first of all, were you by yourself, or were there? Did you have your partner Todd Holliday with you?
Todd Holliday attended, as well as Assistant United States Attorney, along with the attorney for Mr. Davis, who were also there.
And what was his name?
I refer to by.
Well, I have what's marked as State's Proposed Exhibit 46. I know you got a copy
Okay.
there.
That's fine.
How about we use the one that I have
Sure.
marked, and I'll take these back from you.
Would reviewing those notes refresh your recollection as to the name of his attorney?
Yes, Edie Fall.
Okay, after reviewing that, has your recollection been refreshed?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
And it's Edie Fall?
Yes.
Understood. You may proceed.
First of all, let me ask this. Up until you were contacted sometime this year, have you maintained the confidentiality of this conversation that you had with Mr. Davis?
Yes.
And as far as you're aware, your partner Todd Holliday also maintained the confidentiality of it.
Yes, as far as I know.
And before you hit the stand today, or sometime last week or the week before, or at some point, the United States or the U.S. Attorney's Office issued a letter authorizing you to testify to these two conversations you had with Mr. Davis.
Yes, referring to the TUI letter, yes.
And that's a requirement that state prosecutors have to get permission from the federal government to allow you as an agent or former agent to testify to actions you took in your official capacity as a federal law enforcement officer.
Yes, regarding those two interviews, yes.
How is your proffer with Mr. Davis documented?
Usually we use the standard FBI reporting mechanism, which is a FD 302 report.
And that is essentially a report that lays out the information you received. There's no audio recording of that particular conversation.
That's correct.
And is there a FBI 302? Well, what's in front of you? And I forgot the number. Is it 146?
I've spent a lot of time on the road, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that freedom is too valuable to throw away. Don't trade your freedom for a DUI.
On July 16th of 1998.
Yes, it is.
Move to admit 146. 9.
No objection.
So admitted.
Now, I'm not going to have you go through everything that was in there, but what is your purpose in talking to Mr. Davis in the proffer session?
Well, the purpose is to glean as much information as we can regarding what he knew or knew at the time regarding gang, drug, violent activity going on within the Watts and Compton areas.
Were you investigating directly, at least, the Tupac Shakur murder?
Not directly, like it wasn't, we weren't assigned, we were working our normal gang activity investigations. However, it was known to us that he was a person of interest, Mr. Davis was a person of interest regarding that homicide.
And so during this proffer session, you asked him questions about that as well?
Yes, we did.
I'm going to go through 146 in front of you. And actually, I can roll it up here on the screen for you. It would help if I plugged the computer in. So that's what the front page of this 302 says. Is confidential and has the date and a description of who the people that are present for this particular proffer are.
That's correct.
the very first part of the interview, and let's close that. There, you have a discussion with Mr. Davis about an individual called Zip. Tell us what he tells you about this individual Zip initially.
Initially, that Zip was an individual from New York who was a pimp who controlled girls, numerous girls, sold marijuana. He did just mention that Zip was involved in PCP trafficking, and that Davis at one point arranged for an individual by the name of Patrick Bernard to give Zip some PCP. So Zip came from New York to LA to conduct the transaction.
And did he also mention how he met Zip?
Yes, he said he met Zip at a baseball game somewhere in approximately 1993 or 94. There was an individual named Fats who was also at the game that introduced the Zip.
And then he talks to you a little bit about who Fats is.
Yeah, Fats was a large cocaine supplier who operated in the west side of LA. It's also known as Flint. Davis associated with Fats prior to 1994, up until basically the time, I guess, where Fats was arrested and taken into federal custody.
Let's skip past some Fats. There's a or part of this conversation, a person by the name of Wayne Day comes up. Do you know who Wayne Day is?
Yes, Wayne Day was actually arrested by the squad that I worked on, the Safe Street Task Force. He was a large-scale drug dealer, drug trafficker in the Watts area of Compton with Grape Street Crips.
And does Davis describe his relationship as it relates to Mr. Day?
Yes, there was. He mentioned that they were related. That Davis had an uncle who was the uncle of Wayne Day. That's how he described it.
And then there's a conversation in this next paragraph where Mr. Davis makes mention of Mr. Day having Compton sewn up. What does sewn up mean?
Well, in terms of having control of all the drug trafficking in that specific area, and actually, there was agents mentioned to him and said that Wayne Day had Compton sewn up, and Mr. Davis said actually that he had part of Compton sewn up, that he didn't have the south side part that Davis operated in.
And then does he tell you what his role is in the south side part of Compton as it relates to drug trafficking?
When you say he, you're referring to
Mr. Davis, sorry.
That Mr. Davis had that side of Compton handled as far as the drugs.
And did he talk to you about who?
Create PDF spaces in a click. Connect your docs, and then the dots.
An individual who was a former Compton PD officer by the name of Reggie Wright Jr.
I'm going to drop down a little bit here to the part where he talks to you about both him and Mr. Blackman being major suppliers in the Jordan Downs housing project in Watts.
That's correct.
And then he begins to talk to you about the start of Death Row Records.
Yeah, again, that was all part of the, overall investigations that we're looking at as far as the gang activity and things of that nature. He mentioned there was an individual by the name of Harry O that provided money to start the Death Row Records. Also, what's his name? I believe Patrick Johnson provided approximately $80,000. Actually told Davis to give $80,000 that money that Davis owed to Johnson from previous gain transactions to Johnson's girlfriend, so that money could be used to start Death Row Records.
And he also explains Marion Suge Knight's role and his connection to the Blood gang members.
Yes, he did. He said that Marion Knight had gained control of the North Compton drug trade, and that he was associated with a bunch of the Blood Street gang members, like the Mob Pyrus and such. And they were, the Knight was getting them in and out of, getting them out of jail, bailing them out, and they would cooperate with Knight.
And basically, when Knight goes to prison, he tells you Reggie Wright kind of takes over.
Yeah, Reggie Wright Jr. took over the organization after Suge Knight was arrested.
You already mentioned Harry O. But Davis claims to actually be involved in the delivery of some of the money associated with the startup of Death Row Records.
Yes.
Down. I'm going to start. You see at the top there. You ask him about his prior relationship with Mr. Knight prior to the murder of Tupac Shakur. You see that paragraph there?
Yeah. I mean, Davis said that he told us that he never had any issues with Suge Knight or any of those individuals prior to the incident in Vegas with the killing of Mr. Shakur.
And Mr. Davis goes on, I'm going to skip down just a little bit, but he basically accuses two Compton Police Department officers, Sergeant Reynolds and Lieutenant Reggie Wright Sr., the father of Reggie Wright Jr., as basically being corrupt officers.
Yes. Yeah. That Reggie Wright Sr. was a lieutenant with Compton Police Department, and then Reggie Wright Jr. was a former officer with the police department. He had then started a company called Right Way Security, and then he was working with Suge Knight and Blood doing security, although some claimed it wasn't on an official capacity, for Death Row Records, looking at their parties and such and things like that. And they would, Right Way Security, they would employ Compton PD officers and things of that nature to conduct their business for Mr. Knight.
And he also mentions Omar Bradley. Who's Omar Bradley?
Omar Bradley's former mayor of Compton, the city of Compton. He mentions Mr. Bradley saying that he was associated with Knight and the other Blood Pirate gang members.
Skip through the part. Top of page 4, he provides information, or at least asserts that Reggie Wright Jr. is distributing drugs out of a particular location, and even names some people that are helping with that.
Yes, he stated that Reggie Wright Jr. Had a drug distribution location, an auto body shop called Untouchables, that was located at the corner of Alondra and Washington in the city of Compton. There was the shop was owned by an individual by the name of Melvin Hurd, and then Hurd, a guy by the name of G. Ray, and Jim helped distribute cocaine from the shop.
He also mentions some people that work for Reggie Wright Jr. and assisting in the cocaine distribution.
Yes, he stated that Reggie Wright Jr. had an individual by the name of Mob James, who was a member of the Mob Pyru street gang, individual named Flip, who distributed out of a shop location on Compton Boulevard, and Harris. There was an individual known as Buntry, but we at the time we wrote it out as Bump Tree, but we believe that actually it was an individual known as Buntry Al, or
Paul McDonald.
Yes,
Buntry, Buntry.
Yes, Alton McDonald, who was the brother of Mob James, which is James McDonald. Also another individual named Trayvon Lane, who was a Mob Pirate gang member, and then Kevin Woods.
And then they can kind of read this themselves, but at some point he talks about an incident that occurs at a neighborhood mall involving a person named Marcus. What does he tell you about that?
Yeah, this was a few weeks before the murder of Tupac Shakur. This individual, Marcus, who was a Southside Crip, was at a mall by himself. Several Blood Street gang members attacked him and started beating him up. Then an individual, Mr. Orlando Anderson, who was the cousin or nephew of Mr. Davis, observed what was happening and went in to help Marcus. And they beat up and fended off the other gang members.
And then he moves on to describe the incident at the MGM casino the night of Mr. Shakur's murder.
Yes, he did.
And what did he tell you?
He told us the day of the murder of Tupac Shakur that the Blood Street members, some Blood Street gang members saw at night, they saw Orlando Anderson. They attacked him because of the previous incident at the mall. After the attack, Mr. Davis, Anderson, Orlando Anderson, and their girlfriends went back up to their hotel room at the Excalibur Hotel. And he said that was it. They didn't have any involvement. They stayed in the room the rest of the night.
He tells you that the room was in Anderson's name.
Yeah, the room was in Anderson's name. That they had driven up to Vegas from the LA area in a Land Cruiser, and that they had some other associates, Corey Edwards, Kevin Davis, Terry Brown, aka Bubble Up, Big Dre, and Wynn also traveled to Las Vegas. They stayed at the MGM.
And he repeatedly denies to you knowing who killed Tupac Shakur.
Yeah, he said they didn't have any knowledge of what happened. That they weren't involved. He did later speculate that maybe it was some Compton police officers that were working for Suge Knight, and that maybe it was because he had heard that Tupac was talking about possibly leaving Death Row Records or something to that effect. But
his suggestion was that perhaps Knight, who's driving the car, had Compton police officers shoot Tupac in the car Suge's driving.
yes, something to that effect.
I'm going to keep rolling down here. He gets back at page 5 to talking about Zip. So how does he tell you? Well, he talks about Zip and how he becomes associated with the Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, he said that back in 93, 94, Zip introduced Davis to Notorious B.I.G. at Summer Jam concert, and Davis would associate with Notorious B.I.G. when he was in LA area, but they had never had any like drug connections or anything like that.
He tells you that he was actually at the Peterson Automotive Museum the night Mr. Wallace was killed.
That's correct, yes.
And that he saw some, at least people associated with Death Row Records at that location.
Yeah, he told us that prior to that, the night of the murder, Davis observed some females associated with Death Row Records at the party. He said, well, like Jewel, a singer, Lachelle, a comedian for Death Row, and Davis believes that they saw Mr. Wallace at the event, then called Blood gang members to come. Davis did say he observed Reggie Wright Jr. and DJ Quick, who was a performer for Death Row, Theo, a local disc jockey, and about 10 or 11 other Treetop and Fruitown Blood gang members arrived at the event. Davis told Mr. Wallace that they were to watch, that they were there and they should watch out. And then shortly thereafter, Mr. Wallace was shot, but Davis wasn't there. He didn't see who actually shot him.
But once again, he tells you that he believes that Reggie Wright Jr. and Blood Gang members are the people that killed Mr. Wallace.
Yes, he said he believed that Reggie Wright Jr. and the Blood Gang members associated with him were the ones responsible for killing Notorious B.I.G. When asked who the individual was who actually killed him, based off of there was a composite drawing that was that had been provided and was kind of passed around, so we showed him that. Davis responded that the composite looked just like Reggie Wright Jr.
A hacker drained our business account. Nora from Travelers contacted her rapid response team, and even the Secret Service.
I got some news for you. We got it.
All of it?
All of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Was it
Yes.
in California?
Yes.
And Mr. Davis talks to you a little bit about that without going into the specifics, but he talks to you a little bit about how Mr. Anderson wound up dying.
Yes, he did.
And thereafter, and I'm not going to go through all of these, he initially denies distribution out of state, but eventually talks to you about a lot of different locations engaged in distributing cocaine.
Yeah, I mean, we asked him to discuss all the individuals out of state who he supplied cocaine to and all the local individuals he supplied and distributed to. He initially said that he hadn't distributed out of state to anyone or knew of anyone who did it within the last 3 years. But then he went through and we started asking about specific individuals, and he would provide more details and information about who he had supplied and what he had supplied and sort of the details.
One of the people he talks about is Primo.
Yes. Primo was an individual that he bought cocaine from, his supplier of kilos of cocaine, anywhere from 11,500 to 12,500 a kilogram. Primo fronted Davis one point at like 200 kilos of cocaine at a time, and then Davis would go out and sell it and then pay Primo back.
He also mentions Corey Edwards getting drugs from Mr. Davis and being out in Ohio and distributing cocaine in Ohio.
Yes, Davis said that at that time, back when we were interviewing him in '98, up until about 3 years prior, that he was supplying Corey Edwards, who was selling cocaine all over Ohio. But I guess Edwards got into, he said at one point Edwards got into some trouble with his Cleveland drug contact, and that Edwards started coming out to acquire cocaine directly from Davis. That was an individual named Bubs who resided in Cleveland.
Eventually, he describes how Primo goes back to Colombia and he gets a new supplier by the name of Samuel Lopez.
So Primo, I guess, departed the U.S. So we had to start selling cocaine in smaller quantities, and he came across a supplier by the name of Samuel Lopez, whose brother was actually in federal custody. Then Davis had heard that Samuel Lopez went back to Mexico after the FBI attempted to arrest him. And I guess there was a younger brother or another Lopez, George Lopez, used to answer the phone for Samuel Lopez at the time.
And I'm not going to go into this, but there was a discussion of someone named Dupree, but that guy's full name was Azel Dupree Hall III, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
He talks specifically about the phone calls that you were playing for him, that you had captured him on the wire.
That's correct.
This one. Oh. At the very end, he denies that he's the leader of the Southside Crips and claims Darnell Brim is actually the leader of the gang.
Yes, he's even though he had said that he was large scale, basically a drug trafficker on that south side of Compton, that Darnell Brim was actually the head of the gang, if you will.
Okay. Now I want to move on. Shortly after that conversation that you had with Mr. Davis, did he enter a guilty plea to some charges and get sentenced to 70 months in federal prison?
Yes, he did.
That's a little less than 6 years. So he got some benefit from talking to you from what the
Yeah, I don't know if it was 70 months. It might have been 77 months, 70 or 77. So I don't know specifically.
Judge, I have in my hand, it says it's admitted, but I don't remember offering it, a certified copy of the indictment, the plea, and the judgments of conviction in United States District Court for the Central District of California, case CR-98537, evincing his...
I have the parties approach.
All right, y'all. I can't with this no more, man. We finna go ahead and get up out of here, man. Peace, blessings to everybody that tuned in, man, and that you know what I'm saying, watch for a little while. I just can't do this court shit, man. But peace, man. Peace to all y'all, man. Make sure y'all tune in a little bit later on tonight, man, for Wild Wednesday. Peace, 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 peace.